G'day everybody and welcome to another full-scale Fishing Adventures Tech Talk. We're currently sitting on Lake Hume, about to do some yellow fishing, but I thought it was a good opportunity to just run through some of the gear that I've been using to chase spring yellows. It's been an awesome spring so far. Caught some really big fish, so I'll run you through the gear that I've been using to catch the fish this season so far. So I think firstly, rods and reels, spin sticks have played a big part this year in the yellow fishing. Lots of jigging, so spin sticks are great for that. What I've been using lately is the Akuma Inspira reels. So I run a couple of different setups. This one firstly is the 3000, which I like to load with 10-pound Platypus X4 braid, which is a 4-carrier braid, super abrasion resistant, which is important when you're chasing goldens. Like when you get caught in the trees and stuff like that, you want to make sure that you know the braid's not going to rub through, and the X4 is great for that. I like to run Platypus hard armor fluorocarbon leaders. So when I'm running the 10-pound setup, I like to run either a 15-pound or a 20-pound leader. I'll show you the leader here. So that's the hard armor fluorocarbon that I like to use. So when I'm yellow fishing, I like to keep 20, 15 and also 10 on board. So with the 10-pound setup, the rod I like to use is the TT Black Mamba. This is a 3 to 6 kilo 7-foot stick, and that's a great all-round setup. I've been using it in the lake here, but I particularly like this fishing in structure in the Murray. So if I'm fishing snags and I know there's a possibility of getting stitched up by a big fish, I'll use the 10-pound setup with a 20-pound leader. Great for jigging, switch blades and switch minnows. The other setup I like to use is also a Akuma Inspira. This is a 2,500 size, and I load this with 6-pound Platypus Pulse X4 braid. So again, the 4-carrier braid. This is my sort of open water setup. So if I know there's not a great chance of getting stitched up in the trees, maybe I'm fishing slightly deeper water, this is a great setup. Thinner braid will definitely get your smaller lures down easier in deeper water, so that's something to consider. With this setup, I'll just run either a 10 or a 15-pound leader, depending on where I'm fishing at the time. In the lake at the moment, fishing quite open water, so the 10-pound fluorocarbon is plenty. I've matched that to one of the TT Red Belly rods. This is a 2 to 4 kilo 7-foot spin stick. This is not an expensive rod, but it's a really good rod for fishing plastics and also jigging with blades. It's got a soft action, and I quite like that for yellow belly fishing. I think it sort of cushions the fight a bit, less chance of bending those little hooks, and it's just a great budget rod if you're looking to get into golden perch fishing. The Red Belly range is a really, really good range of sticks. So moving on to cranking, I do like fishing bait casters, cranking the edges, particularly in the Murray. Cranking along the cliffs is one of my favourite things to do. Always like to do that with a bait caster. Without a doubt, my favourite setup is a TT Black Mamba. This is a 4 to 8 kilo 7-foot stick, and this is my favourite cranking rod. I like to match it to an Akuma Hakai. So this is a 100 size reel, nice low profile. It's incredibly light. This setup is great to use all day if you're looking at doing lots of casting. With my cranking setup, I'll run 20-pound Platypus Pulse X4 braid. Again, that 4-carrier braid, I use that for all of my reels when I'm native fishing. And then also I'll run a few different leaders depending on the situation I'm in. So if it's clear country, clear water, probably run a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader. But in the Murray, when the water's dirty and you're not looking at getting that deep in the water, I'll run a 30-pound leader. Just gives you a bit of extra insurance. Not so much for trying to land the fish more so for getting the lures out of the snags. If you've got a little bit heavier line, it just gives you a bit more chance of being able to, say, use the tackle back and be able to get your lure back, and the fish don't care, like if you're fishing a bit heavier like that. So absolute favorite rod for cranking. Run through a couple of the lures that I've been using. One great thing that TT have brought out is the tackle containers. What I really like about the TT tackle containers, they've got really good clips. You can open and close them hundreds of times and they're not going to snap off. They've got good hinges on the back so they can open and close really easy time after time, and you know they're not going to wear out. So this is my blades container. Now I keep quite a lot of different size blades in there. I've got the switch blades. I've also got switch minnows, and then some of the prawns, the switch prawns as well. But this season, the standouts have been the switch blade, so the 1/4 ounce, which is the 44mm one. That is absolutely awesome on the Murray. I've caught so many fish on that style of lure. It is just incredible. And then the new addition to the jigging range has been the switch minnow. So they come in a couple of different sizes. This is the 37mm, and they also come in a 44mm as well, but the 37mm has been the one that I like to use. Interesting with the blades, it sort of seems as though there's like an optimum size for jigging. The smaller blades, like the 37mm, will wobble more on a shorter retrieve, and that's the key to this the lure success. So when you have a bigger blade, yes, it has bigger profile, but it takes a longer lift to be able to make the blade wobble, and therefore that's sort of taking it out the strike zone or out of the fish's face. Whereas with the smaller blades, they definitely wobble more with a shorter lift, and that enables you just to keep it straight in the strike zone, right in the fish's face, and you tend to get more bites. So definitely that 37mm switchblade has been absolutely awesome. Some different things to add to the blades, the new TT assist hooks. So they come in a few different sizes. I've been using the large size assists a lot. With the switch blades, I'll switch out the back to assist hooks and then leave the belly treble on there, simply because it balances the lure and you'll find that it's going to keep its action. The switch minnows obviously don't come with a treble, so you can just stick those straight on there. The small size is great for the smaller switch minnows, but definitely for the switch blades I like to run either the medium or the large. Now moving on to cranks, I've done a bit of cranking this year. A couple of standouts. The old school Arashi Deep 18, a great lure for cranking. Also size 2 stumpies, great lures for cranking in the Murray. And then one of my absolute favourites for fishing edges is a square bill. That's an Arashi Square 5. So square bill's great for fishing shallow water on the edges where you're going to find a lot of goldens, particularly in spring or when the weather warms up. A few different things that I've been using this year is the new TT black grub in 3.5 inch. These have been great on the Murray River. Something I haven't done much of at all is catch fish on plastics in the Murray River, but it's a nice profile. Blacks provides a really good silhouette, so it's great to have that lure in that colour, which has been catching some really nice fish. Also in the lake here, the 2.5 inch size black grub has caught me some outstanding fish, and I got a 63cm fish on one of them yesterday, which is just awesome. A really cool addition to your plastics is the rattlesnaker. Now this is a device that can insert a glass rattle inside a soft plastic, and these are just awesome, particularly if you're fishing in the Murray and you want just a little bit of noise. If the water's like got a bit of colour in it, adding a glass rattle can help the fish find the lure a lot better. Now to add to the plastics, you got to have scents. So I like to carry a lot of different scents. In the Murray, I like to use the garlic sauce, which is really a pungent smelling one. But then in the lake here yesterday, I had a lot of success when I changed to the crawfish scent. Now the Procure scents are really good because they're really sticky, and when you put it on the lure, it stays on there for a long time. So they're really good ones to use. And then also you've been using the bait sauce, which is a shrimp scent. I like to just mix it up, find out what's working on the day. If you've got a few different ones, it gives you the chance to use a bit of different stuff. And then also a little secret is bait pop as well. Now, if you haven't heard of bait pop, it's a sonar enhancer. So if you're using forward facing sonar and you put some bait pop on there, you'll actually be able to find your lure a lot better on the screen. And yesterday I found it was really good to use a combination of the bait pop on the head of the lure, so the jig head, and also the front half of the plastic, and then I juiced up the tail with the crawfish scent, and that seemed to work really well for me. Now, once you've got the fish on, you then need to unhook them, and it seems like a very simple thing, but pliers are so important. I keep a couple of different sets of the TT pliers. Now, firstly is just the 7-inch split ring pliers, which are great because you can obviously adjust your lures, change hooks, all that sort of stuff, but great for shallow hooked fish or fish that are hooked on the outside of the mouth. But these guys here, the 11-inch long nose pliers, are absolutely awesome for when you get a fish that swallowed the lure, and you can get down in there, get that lure out quickly without damaging the fish, which is simply not possible with shorter pliers or even just trying to use your hands. It's just impossible. So a good set of long nose pliers is very important when you're fishing the lake. I think that's our kit. What I have been enjoying is the TT tackle bag. Now, I didn't use tackle bags for a long time, but having one again now is just awesome because I can put all my plastics up the front. I can keep my scents in the side, which keeps them separated, and then also I can load the front up with jig heads, and it just means that everything's got its place and I'm able to find it when I need to. So hopefully you've got a few tips for spring goldens from this video. Make sure you like the channel and subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos, and I'll catch you on the next Tech Talk.